Hello, everyone. Sorry, I'm kind of running late today. Figured we'd give everybody a couple more minutes to log on. So let's see what we've got here in the chat. Okay, my favorite physical prop. I love asking this question to beginner sessions because it's just a misconception that if you use Google Slides, you got to ditch everything else, because it's just not true. I have like so many physical props that I use, especially in trials. I do love using Google Slides, but I do love my Realia, So hello, everyone. Let's see what some people's favorite props are. Let's see. Oh, Megan, Mike dolls. I don't have those yet. Maybe one day. Yeah, puppets are great. Honestly, yeah. Any kind of dino, anything. Easter eggs. Oh, man. That's clever. I like that, Karen. Or, I'm sorry, Connor. Birthday fridge. All right. So, airplane, pizza slice, dino doll. I tell you what, yeah. I use my dino doll for I feel like everything. I like to use it for humor, and I like to use it for verbs and all sorts of things. Let's see, what else do I typically use? I use this bad boy right here nonstop. And you'd be surprised what you can do with 3 little Lego blocks. I like these stay on my desk, and I've got an external mic, so I actually have a book that I kind of prop it up on just to keep it more level. And so I have a little space around the microphone, and these are literally like my props that I pull out most. So it's like a little fake house, empty name tag. I teach a lot of trials. And these little guys right here, they're my favorite. I like to kind of stick them up to the webcam and kind of pretend. Yeah. Anyway, so let's go ahead and get started. Y'all are here for a beginner session today. We're going to learn about Google Slides and how to use them in class, how to effectively use them in class. I think that's the most important thing. I'm going to go ahead and stop my share here. All right. I like to see everybody in gallery view. Okay. All right. So we are going to talk a little. I'm going to just tell you our objectives today. So our objectives are, number 1, how to navigate the slide guide, because that is a big beast of its own. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, what a slide guide is, then you're in the right meeting. Okay. And then we are going to talk a little about the basics of Google Slides. So like the what, why, and how. Those are the 3 main things that I think are important to kind of discuss before you even access resources or try to use them. And then the last thing that we're going to talk about is how to set up Slidekick on your mobile device and on your desktop, and how to just kind of a workflow, like what I would suggest doing as far as preparing for classes and searching for specific rewards and feedback templates and all sorts of things. So if you're joining us on your mobile device, you might run into a few issues, like kind of following along with us if you're on Zoom and the app trying to do what I'm doing at the same time. So you can always just watch and take notes. But if you're on your desktop, you're welcome to follow along whenever I start going through all those steps. Okay. So I'm going to share just some disclaimers here. Okay. So not affiliated with VIPKid or sponsored by VIPKid. I'm not a teacher mentor. This is just this is something that our group does. Every month we host about 5 to 6 Zooms over various topics. So I do the beginner session and the planner session. So the planner session I think is coming up next week, or maybe the last week in June. I'm not super positive. I'll have to check the calendar, but be on the lookout for that. If you end up mastering the Slidekick really quickly and you want to go on to the next step, then always check the event section on our page. Okay. And that's my cue to start recording. Oh, it's already recording. Okay, awesome. These are some Zoom meeting controls. And if you're unfamiliar with Zoom, these are the little buttons you'll see at the bottom on your desktop. You're going to want to probably open up the chat box, because I will send some helpful links in there. And then if you're on your phone, it's a little bit more convoluted. You have to like click on participants and then you got to click on chat. And that's how you access the chat box. Oh, I kind of skipped like a little, I guess, important part. I'm Megan. I'm Megan. I am an admin in the VIPKid Google Slides group. And I was a brick and mortar teacher for 5 years. And I taught 8th grade English. And I loved it so much. Although I loved something else a lot more. That was, I know that's past tense. I love something else more. Number one, my 3-year-old, he told me he didn't want to go back to daycare. I said, okay, well, okay, we'll roll with it. And that was a big learning curve for me because I decided, and it was scary, I don't know if anybody has done that, but I decided to go full time with VIPKid, and I really put a lot of work into my profile and all that kind of stuff beginning of last summer. And my bookings finally picked up, and I was able to go full time, and I love it. So it's perfect. I'm done working by the time that he's awake in the morning. So that's what I love. I'm a VIPKid teacher, and I'm also a teaching materials contributor. So that means that some of the things that you see in your certification tab, like when you're trying to certify for new classes, some of those infographics are done by me. And I also do test classes for new curriculum. So those MV0P courses that you can certify in, they are tested by the TMC team. So that's what I do. And I'm part of the Google Slides group. Yeah. Okay. If you're on your computer, I would recommend learning how to save our chat. And I wouldn't save it right now because honestly, it's pointless. You want to save it because it only saves up to what we've typed so far. So you would click on more and you would click save chat. You can only do this on a desktop. Okay. Oh, Tina. I'll be signing my 5th contract in August, I think. I don't have to go check my portal. Yeah, I'll be coming up on 2 years here pretty soon. So yeah. And I love it. It's been awesome because I don't know. I was very part-time when I was teaching brick and mortar. And so when I decided to go full-time, I never really experienced any struggle with like booking classes and things like that because I was so part-time. What I opened up pretty much booked for the most part. But then when I went full-time, man, those empty slots, they were a little scary. So, but it took some time. Like everybody says, that's the main advice that everybody gives. It's like, oh, just wait. And I did, and it definitely helped. Although it's hard to be patient. So anyways, I am going to demonstrate some things to do and how to do them. This is what I would recommend doing is just like watching me first, and then we will do it together. And then you'll leave this meeting, go off on your own and do it on your own. Okay. So that's the reason I bring that up is just because if you have any questions, you can send them in the chat box. And we've got I think Heather's in here. I don't know. I can't see Jolene is in here. So we've got some admin and moderators and editors. Christina is here. Yay. So if you have questions, definitely send them in the chat box. Like if I skipped over something that you thought I was going to discuss right then, because I do typically answer most of the questions with the order that we go in. So, but feel free to send your questions in the chat. So this is our official agenda today. We hopefully will have some time at the end for some Q&A, okay? All right. So what is Google Slides? Does anybody want to chime in, or you can send in the chat? You're welcome to unmute and, can you unmute? No? Yes? No? I don't know. You're welcome to unmute if you want to say. But what is Google Slides? Is anybody familiar with it, or you're already using the resources in class and you just kind of wanted to hop in this meeting and see if there's some basics that are little holes or gaps that you could fill in?
Hi, this is Tina. I am already using Google Slides.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're awesome. But I am in this class because it seems like I am not getting all the updates. So when you talked about, this particular
the app that we're
I seem to, I'm not getting all the updates that you guys put out there, so I'm here to
Right.
figure out why I'm not getting them.
Sure. Yeah, we can definitely discuss that.
Okay,
That's
thank
a good,
you.
but yeah, Google Slides. Yeah, that's kind of like I can answer that really quickly because if you're using the app, we currently don't have it set up to auto update. And that's just for my own peace of mind because it's still so new and I'm still a little bit, I don't want to set up a Google Apps script to auto update it because I don't want something to go wrong in the middle of the night and wake up and, there may be mass chaos in the group. So I'm still manually updating them. I'm doing it about 2 times a week. So
Okay,
if
so when you manually update it, Megan, do I have to then go back to
no,
where you guys have them all loaded?
right,
And because
no,
I use my phone.
right, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, you don't need to. It should, any changes that I make on our end will show on your end. So you're all
Okay.
good. Yeah, we've had some issues lately with the girl feedback templates. Anytime I update, the girl feedback templates keep turning off. I need to dig into that more, but yeah, no, you don't need to re-download anything. It will continue to auto update just like the slide finder would. Although you won't see those new rewards as often because I'm only updating it 2 times a week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
But
you.
as we get more comfortable with it and as we kind of get all the little bugs figured out, then we'll probably set it up to auto update every night like the slide finder does. So
Great.
yeah. So what is Google Slides? Let's see some answers in the chat here. PowerPoint slides, yes. Okay, Karen's right on the money here. So it's basically an online presentation program. So think of Microsoft PowerPoint, that you install on your Windows computer, or Keynote on your Mac. It's PowerPoint presentation software, except it is online. So you don't have to download any program or software to your computer to create them or to present them. It's all based online. So, and it's all free. That's what we love about it too. So you can use this program to create props, rewards, and extension activities. And if you're still a little like, I've got some visuals for you. So think about some of the times that you've been in class and you're like kind of going, and you look at the clock and you're like, oh my gosh, how am I gonna make this last 25 minutes? Or let's say your student's really struggling with something and you want to extend and you want to teach them a little more about something. That's extension. And so maybe you've pulled your phone out on occasion, Googled something really quick, or you had something pulled up already you knew they were going to need help with. And you kind of held it up to the webcam, or you printed something that you kind of planned ahead. So Google Slides can do that too, except for our group, you don't have to make anything. That's the cool thing, is that so many teachers have already made so much that it's unnecessary. You don't have to create them. It's already created for you. So all of our files are organized by lesson. And we have a tagging system. So we use those lesson codes to kind of tag rewards. And we have little extension rewards suggested next to each lesson. But why use Google Slides? Why can't I just Google it, on my phone and pull it up? Well, we've number one, we've already created tons of stuff for you guys. But number two, it's going to save you money. Number three are, I'm going backwards here. Number three, they provide excellent extensions. So our hearts, the admin team, our hearts are really, really all about extending and enhancing the VIPKid lesson, enhancing your students' experience. So all of our files are high quality, and really go along with the VIPKid lesson and provide opportunities for your student to speak more and for your student to think more, because that's when the learning is really going to take place. Is when your student is having to kind of like think for those words and work really hard. So this is Beth Pinder. She's an admin in our group as well, and this is her using her iPad for a teacher versus student game, and it was actually like one of or I think it was the first. Yeah, it's the first teacher versus student game. So if you've already been using our rewards and kind of know, this this little game right here, you tell your student to pick a food, right? And you'll have to modify your language a little bit, right, depending on the level, but you have them use their words to tell you what do you want. Tell me, do you want broccoli? Do you want a banana? And when they say what they would like, hopefully in a complete sentence, right, you tap the food and it will show a number of points that they can earn. So that's just an example of one of our games. And it's fun because it's teacher versus student. So you're playing against each other and you're getting them talking. So that's the why behind it, really, is to provide excellent extension for our students and also have fun. So it's both can be done with Google Slides, having fun and extending. So here's the Dress Dino reward. And I'm showing this with a phone because a lot of people think you have to use webcam software or be really techie to do Google Slides. No, all you have to do is open them up on your phone and hold it up to your webcam. Now your lighting and all that kind of stuff we'll talk about later on, but that you'll run into some glare issues depending on how your lighting is set up. Yeah, Heather, totally right. So, sorry, I thought you were talking about the reward. Lots of colors on this reward, and you can talk about what is Dino wearing. Practice that verb conjugation. And so anyways, here are some examples of like lesson specific stuff or skills specific. So like this one right here would go along with that. What's level 3 unit 4, or I think it's it's 4. How do animals move? Okay, like a frog can hop. Here's a bossy E wand. Maybe your student's struggling a little bit with that. Okay, so these are just some examples of our files, okay, just to kind of get them out there. All right, there are 2 main ways to use Google Slides. A lot of our members, I would really assume about 75% of our members use their mobile device to show Google Slides. So when I say mobile device, I mean like your iPad or your phone, whatever works best for you. I saw some stuff in the chat you as far as like kind of loading slow. So you're going to run into that issue if you're, it depends on your device. It depends on your internet connection. And honestly, it depends on the file that you're choosing to use. So we'll troubleshoot that later as far as how to pick files and search for files that are going to load fast on your mobile device, okay? Our whole group, we've kind of hacked Google Slides, right? I mean, like, we're not supposed to be making games on this thing. We're supposed to be making boring presentations for the office or something, so it's definitely, well, we've kind of hacked the whole Google Slides platform. So it's when I say hack, I mean, like, used it in a way it's really not supposed to be used, So you can use them on your mobile device, or you can use them on your computer and show them on your teacher videos feed to your student using webcam software. So that's a little bit more of like a step 2 kind of thing. I know many people who dove in headfirst and just used them straight on webcam software and were very successful with that. But there are also some things to consider with that as well, as far as your computer specs and your internet connection, things like that. So these are some examples of using Google Slides on a mobile device. So like this, I kind of put on here. It's not really a good example. We've got, because you can't see the screen now. It's probably just because of the screenshot. But you do have to play around with your lighting. You got to tilt forward maybe or tilt backwards to get away from the glare. You can turn your brightness up or turn it down. It depends on your device. So, and your webcam too. Here are some additional examples of using Google Slides on your webcam, or I'm sorry, your teacher video feed. So this Sarah and Dinah. Dinah's an admin in our group. Sarah used to be a moderator in our group, and they're using Google Slides. This is like what you would see in the classroom. So they see teacher is tiny and the picture is big. Okay, so you can use Manicam or Cam Twist. There are also a couple of other webcam softwares that you can use too. So definitely keep an eye on our events section, because that's where you'll see like the Zoom sessions for webcam software. So, okay, do you guys want to see a actual clip of them being used in class? Would that help to see? I typically skip this part, but I am totally fine with showing it. So this, let me give you some background before I play. So, and you may have already seen it maybe on my YouTube channel, but this is Xiao Yu. He's one of my students that I've had for a long time, and he struggles with verb conjugation. We're always working on it. Okay, so in this video you'll see me using one of our prop slides. Okay, we're in that technology unit in level 4. My gosh, it's very, very boring, but you can always use Google Slides to kind of spice things up a little bit and get your student talking a little more using those. Oh, hold on. You can't hear it, can you? Can you hear it? No? Okay, so let me stop my share and I will reshare with the computer audio because I think I skipped that step. And share computer sound, share. Okay, so, and you'll notice that in this clip, I don't really stick to the sentence patterns. If you're familiar already with this lesson, I don't really stick to the sentence patterns that are kind of, prescribed in the lesson. But I kind of used this opportunity to kind of individualize for the student, which is really something Google Slides is also awesome for doing. So.
Right. Okay, and
can y'all hear it?
This machine was invented to help people clean houses more easily.
She is funny. Yeah, cute. Okay, what was this machine invented for?
This machine make coffee.
Oh, good. Yes, that's right. Xiaoyu, can you say like this? This machine was invented for. Verb should we use?
This machine was invented for.
Or invented to.
For making coffee.
Yes, very good. Good job with the verb conjugation. That's excellent. Okay, now.
Okay, I think that's the end. Okay, so that was just a brief little cameo for Google Slides, right? I didn't use them for but maybe like a couple of seconds. And that whole file, that prop file, for this specific lesson, it might have 30 slides in there. And you know what? I think this class, I literally only used 2 of them. But it was all about individualizing for my student. So instead of, staying on that slide and circling the picture and saying, what was this machine used to or invented to do, and having him kind of repeat that last sentence on the slide, I used it. Hold on, let me show you exactly what I mean. So like right here, instead of maybe circling this picture of the vacuum cleaner, I show an additional visual, something a little more animated, and get him to use that, practice that whole sentence right here, but in a different way. And it was in a way that he needed more practice with, right? The whole, he said, was invented, make coffee or something like that. So, yeah, so that's just one way to use them to help your individualize the student's experience. Okay. Yes, that was using NannyCam. But I have I think I still have it up. I have my whole playlist right here. I'm going to kind of send to you guys here. And this shows, hold on.
Hello, everyone. Teacher Megan here.
Sorry. I'll send you guys this playlist, and this has a bunch of clips, including several that are just using my iPad. So this was, that I think should be the list. Maybe I accidentally just sent just that video. But just go to my YouTube channel. You'll find it. It's on there. It says Google Slides in Classroom. Okay, so our next objective is to kind of go through the slide guide. And we're going to kind of race through this because there are definitely some little nuances to the slide guide and some things I want to definitely point out. So slide guide, how do you get to this? I'm looking at this link or this file right here. It says I'm on the slide guide, but first let's back up a little. So I'm on our Facebook group, and if you are on a desktop, which you should be, if you want to open up the slide guide, you need to be on a computer, okay, not your phone. Otherwise, the links won't open right. So if you go to your computer and you go to our Facebook group and you click on announcements, there are currently 2 announcements. Oh my gosh, I keep meaning to fix that. Should probably just do that right now. There are 2 announcements posts. Both have links, okay? And both of those links just lead to the slide guide. So hold on, I'm going to take this away. There we go. Okay. So when you click on this link right here, it'll say in big letters, start here. You can click on this link, and it's going to open up this, okay? So I recommend bookmarking it, okay? So I'm using Opera, but you can bookmark it in Chrome and Safari, anywhere, okay? And it's just our all-in-one document that just kind of houses everything you could ever really need, okay? And we're constantly updating it, okay? So that's another cool thing. So when you first open it up, it's going to prompt you. Notice I clicked this little blue arrow right here. You can use your keyboard arrows too. So I'm clicking that blue arrow. It's going to take me to the next slide. Since you're in this session right now, you really probably won't need to click this, okay, because you're getting the basics right here, okay? So for when you open it for next time, if you want to learn something new or if you need to troubleshoot something, always just click this green arrow to go to the table of contents, okay? So this table of contents is where you'll find all of the things that the slide guide contains, okay? So what you would do is you would just click on anything you're wanting to learn. Oh yes, Danielle. So it's made on a Google slide. So any changes that I make on the document will automatically show to everybody who's ever clicked the link. So it will always update whenever we update something. So the basics are in the first column right here. And maybe you've already been using Slidekick, which is our next little objective here. So maybe you want to learn something else. Maybe you want to see those class clips, that I was talking about. You can click right there. If you want to learn about our well over 30 reward types, Heather Barron, one of our moderators, she's made this reward guide, and you can click on it and you can learn about each different reward type that we have and maybe kind of get some ideas on how to use it effectively in class. You can also click right there and it will show you our Zooms, our upcoming Zooms that we have, so by topic too. The next column is about how to access resources, and in our group there are 2 ways to access our resources. The first way that we recommend to all new members is to just download our app, and it's not really a download, it's a web app, so you're not actually downloading anything, and it's free, so you can click on that, and we're going to go through those steps together here in just a minute. If you have got the Slidekick down and you're ready for the next, you don't want to have to search your lesson numbers every day on the lessons tab and find stuff. You want to just be able to paste your schedule and have everything ready to go, like copy it from the portal and paste it into a document, and you'll press a button and it'll literally show you all of our resources available for your schedule. Okay, that's the planner, and that's a really step, like, I don't know. It's the experienced category, okay? Now, it is definitely something that is really awesome, but it can give you some headaches if you are not familiar with like spreadsheets and things like that, because it is on a spreadsheet, okay? Lauren, you can check on your most current version. You can check, it'll say like check for updates, and if you don't see anything that's happened after you made that copy, then you're good. But March 11th is, I think, the last time we made some major changes to the planner. But we are going to have another update soon. I just got to finish it. I'm like kind of dragging my feet about it because I just have this feeling that something is going to change in the portal soon with those tags and all that stuff. So I'm kind of like waiting a little bit. Then if you're using your mobile device, we've got a whole column for you guys here. So if you want to troubleshoot maybe signing into Slidekick, or you're like, well, my screen is blank. Okay, you can click there and you can kind of look through all that. Oops, sorry, I knocked over an ice cream cup. Oh my God. It is a real ice cream cup. Okay. Anyways, let me check the chat over here. Download. So Kyle, good question. Really good question. So I will show you what I mean by you don't have to download it. It's a web app, which is different than an app you would get in the, say, App Store or Google Play Store. Those are, there are two kinds of apps. Native apps is what they're called in the tech world. Native apps are things that are on their own. They're their own thing, their own program, right? And those are the things that you would download from the App Store. A progressive web app, a PWA is what they're called in tech world, and it's just basically like a glorified website, if that makes sense. It's so it's nothing you have to download. That's the cool thing, is that you don't have to download it. All you have to do is type in a web address and it's there. But there are some things, little tiny things that you might run into issues with if your device is a little older, or if your internet connection is giving you fits. So that's the big difference between web apps and native apps that you would get in the App Store. Okay, and then if you're really itching to learn about webcam software, that green column's for you. If you're ready to start creating stuff for our resource bank and you want to contribute, then this little light blue column is for you. And then we've got a little miscellaneous column that we kind of just throw a bunch of random things in, but they're still really helpful. Like this Zoom that we're doing right now, I will upload it and I will put it in the folder that's right there. It's linked right here. So, okay, let's go ahead and get started on accessing Slidekick, okay? Because it is honestly the first step as far as getting all of our resources and not just opening things from Facebook. Because I know many of our members do that, and I just want to hug them all and say, please just come get this app, because everything posted to Facebook, just so y'all know, everything posted to Facebook is not edited by the editing team. So you might run into some problems with maybe some inappropriate pictures on accident, of course, or something not working correctly. So if you're opening things from Facebook, just always be, use with caution, right? Preview things. So just a quick reminder, so like that big home button, you can always click that home button and it'll go back to the table of contents, okay? So I opened up the slide guide from the Facebook group. I opened it up and I clicked to go to the table of contents, and now I'm clicking there to access Slidekick, okay? All right, so we're going to start kind of clicking through this stuff, and I'm going to do it on my mobile device as well. So let me go ahead and say a couple of these housekeeping things. So just so you know, the Slidekick app it's like our resource bank. It's not what you would use in class to present our files. So if you're wanting to pull something up and hold it to your webcam to show, then you would want to use your browser, okay, on your device, on your phone, okay? Or the Slides app, but honestly, the Slides app is kind of poopy, so just don't download it. If you've downloaded it already, then you may want to go ahead and take it off of your device, okay? It's like that little yellow icon, okay? And I'll explain a little bit more why in a little bit. Okay, so let's say I want to use the app on my phone or tablet. So I would pick one of these, okay? Let me turn on my annotation so that you guys can see where I'm clicking. Well, weird. I can't, hold on. I tried figuring this out the last time and it wouldn't work. No. Okay, so here's how, oops, I clicked past a slide. So let's say I want to use them on my phone. What I would do is I would go to the website that's listed right here. I would type it in exactly as it appears. No www, no https:// none of that. Just type in slidekick.glideapp.io, okay? And you're welcome to do this right now if you want to. But like I said, you may want to watch first and then go back through and do it with me here so I can answer your questions. So you would go to this website, and then it's going to, depending on your internet connection, it may take a second to load up, but then you'll see this little pop-up right here. Okay, so you can see it in that GIF right there. It'll ask you to add to your home screen. So on an iPhone, it looks like it does in the picture. So you would click the little share button right there, and then you would maybe have to swipe over a little bit on those options at the bottom, and you would select add to home screen. And this way you could not have to type in that address every time, and it'll add an little app icon on your iPhone. So, and then you would go on to the sign in. Okay. And this I've got some notes on this as well. So if you're using it on your phone, what you would want to do, let me go to the sign in steps. There we go. Sorry, those are a little out of order. Okay. So once you open up the app or the website, it'll ask you for an email address. Okay. You would type in your email address and you would tap get pin. Now, if you're using a Hotmail address or maybe even a Yahoo address, then it might go to your junk, okay? So just always check there. But if you're using Gmail, it usually comes in your inbox. And so you would get that pin from your inbox, and you would type it into the app. And when you do that, it will sign you in. Now, here's the thing. After you use a pin number one time, it expires. So each time you log into a new device or you clear your web browser history, which that's a good thing to do every now and then, especially on your device. But every time you clear your web history or you clear your cache, you'll have to log back in. You'll have to tap get a PIN because your old PIN expired already. So it's just kind of like an authentication method, right? So don't consider it as a password per se, okay? Maybe that's coming down the road as far as like having a user login and stuff like that. But as of right now, the platform that it's housed on, you can only do it via a PIN number, okay? And so then you can use the buttons at the bottom to kind of toggle between what you want to view, okay? And the help tab is extremely helpful because you can search it. So it's much like the group where you can search a question. So the help tab, you can kind of scroll through topics, and you can tap and see like a written instructions, video instructions, GIF instructions. So lots of options there for all the learning styles. Now, let's say you can't open the app. This is what I want to show you first before I actually share my phone screen and show you. So I don't want to read all this to you. That's boring. Let me just be honest with you. If you are finding that you type in the web address and it just doesn't load anything, like it's just a blank frame, this means that your iOS is not compatible with the app. So this means that your device is a little older, or it's running an older iOS, so maybe it's time to update. Okay. Now, if you are having issues with it, like constantly signing in anytime you switch out of the app and it's signing you back in, that's an internet connection issue. So try toggling between like your data or your Wi-Fi, okay? Or try using it in like a web browser maybe instead of added as an app on your home screen. You can also clear your device's browser history. I found that helps too. So, okay. So I'm going to go ahead and show you all of those steps, okay? So I'm going to stop my share here. Okay. Now, if anybody has any questions, real quick, while I'm pulling this stuff up, you can unmute. You can send in the chat if you want, and we'll try to answer those. Okay. So I'm going to cross your fingers that this actually works this time. Hold on. Okay. Anybody got a question? Feel free.
So,
Yay, working.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
So when you're doing this and you have like back-to-back classes, I mean, do you have to go through all those steps to open up your phone?
No. No, so that's why I'm showing you this right now.
Okay.
I'm going to show you a workflow. What I would say.
Okay, awesome.
Okay. So once you go to here, I'll go ahead and just do it. So I just cleared my browser history on my iPhone. So this should show you the exact steps. Okay. So you can see I've kind of bookmarked it, slidekick.glideapp.io. So I'm going to click it. And what it's going to do is it's going to give me this screen. All right. And let's see. Okay. So Connor, you would click on the share button right down here. And most of the time I found on like almost all of my devices, I have to take my finger and swipe over. You see how I'm doing that? Okay. So when I swipe over, yeah, make sure you're in Safari too. So when I swipe over, I got to click add to home screen. So when I click add to home screen, it's going to give me an option like to name it if I want to name it. Okay. I'm just going to keep the name and I'm going to click add. And what it's going to do is, oops, I'm going to drag this over here because I got so much stuff on here. Okay. Okay. I'm giving the illusion that I'm like organized and I'm totally not. Just pretend you see the screen. Okay. So anyways, yeah, click out of Chrome. You have to use, if you're on an iPhone or iPad, you have to use Safari to add it as an app. Okay. So whenever I have the app on my device, I'm going to actually tap the one that I have just downloaded. So it's going to ask me to sign in. So what I would do is I'm going to type in my email address and I'm going to hit get PIN. Now it's telling me to enter my PIN in. So I have to go to my inbox and I have to get that PIN. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go over here and this is the inbox that it's for. So whenever I tap this, it says your PIN is 1352. So I'm going to go back over and I'm going to type that in, 1352. Okay. So once I do that, I'm going to click sign in. It's going to give me this signing in screen. And sometimes it takes a little longer than others, but if I'm noticing that it's taking a while to load, I can always just toggle, like, I don't know if y'all know how to, you can just kind of swipe down and you can take your Wi-Fi off and on. Okay, so you see the little Wi-Fi blue button right there. So that's just kind of toggling between the data or Wi-Fi. Okay, so here's all my buttons down here at the bottom that I can use. And let me show you my workflow. This is what I would do. So let's say I'm going to just open up my VIPKid app here. All right, so let me refresh. Always pull down to refresh, right? Okay, so what I would do is I have 3 upcoming classes. I have some tomorrow night ones. Weird. Okay, so I'm going to type in, you see this little code right here? I hate that my little spotlight is on. Can y'all see my mouse at all? Oh, good. Okay, good. So I would just type in this code. And you know what? I feel like it used to show the lesson name, didn't it, Heather? I don't know. Or Christina? That's what I thought too. Okay, well, anyways, I guess if you just tap the class, it'll show that. Lesson name is right here. That's the lesson name. So what I would do is I would go back home and I would go to my Slidekick and I would click on lessons down here. Okay. Now, a quick note about the lessons tab. This baby is huge. Okay, this tab is just so big. So sometimes you'll find that when you're searching something, and you actually tap a result, it takes a minute to load up. Okay, so let me show you what I'm talking about. Oh, let me spell it right first. Okay, pollution. All right, so I typed in pollution, and then just because I'm me, I'm like, oh well, I forgot what lesson number it is, so I'm just gonna swipe back over. And it's lesson number 5. How do I know that? This last digit right here is 5. So that's lesson number 5. So I would just go back over to Sidekick and I would tap on lesson number 5 right here. Now this is what I'm talking about. Sometimes when you tap something and see how it popped up a little bit, it was a little delayed. It is just because it is trying to catch up. Now once it does that a couple of times, it won't do it again, as long as your internet connection is, not having any major disruptions. Okay. All right. So I'm got this lesson open. So what I would do, my suggestion is I would just favorite it. Okay. And when I favorite it, it's going to send this lesson to my favorites. So my first step would just go and favorite all my lessons, my upcoming lessons. Okay. So let's see, tomorrow I have to the rescue. So I would go and I would type to the rescue. So I'm going to really quickly, just a tip, you can tap this lightning bolt down here, tap it, and you can just search again. So to the rescue. And there it is. So I tap, and notice how I said like sometimes it takes a minute to load up. Well, see, this one, it loaded just immediately. So sometimes just give it a few seconds, right? All right. So once I've done all of that and I've kind of favorited, I'm just going to do 2 for now. I can go over to favorites, right? And here's the tricky thing. The favorites saves, it doesn't like reset every day. Okay, so what you can do is you can go to this, whatever's favorited that you don't have tomorrow. You just turn and toggle those off, okay? And then bada bing, bada boom, I have my lessons for tomorrow. Now, what does this mean? So I am a really, like I said, all of Aventine, we're all very lesson specific driven. So I would probably not really even click on the rewards tab unless I wanted to try to find something that I knew I used before. So I can actually just click on extension rewards, and then I have reward options for me. So this is pretty awesome as well. So I can actually scroll and I can see, okay, oh yes, let's use Megan's. All right, so what I would do is if I want to use this, I can, if I already know it's awesome, and it's awesome, trust me, it's awesome. All right, so if I want to use this, then I would just click copy link, okay? Because I don't need to preview it, maybe I've used it before. But let's say that I've not used it before. I can actually type preview reward. Now, this is gonna be a little confusing because I think I have the Slides app on my phone. Hold on, let me delete it real quick. Okay, so, well, I don't know where it is. Oh, there it is. Okay, so I'm going to delete the Slides app off my phone. I know I'm like contradicting myself, but I use the Slides app to edit our files and to create files, so you don't need it, really. All right, so whenever I click on Preview Reward, if I had have kept the Slides app on my phone, what it would have done is opened in the Slides app. And that's where a lot of people get tripped up because the Slides app doesn't allow you to open more than one thing at a time. That's it. So if you are maybe, wanting to open up a prop and a reward at the same time, copy link is your way to go, okay? But let's say you want to preview it because you've never seen it before and you don't know what it is. You would click preview reward. And then here it's going to have this wonky screen, right? This is just to preview. So what you would do is just swipe, swipe, swipe. Okay. And don't skip the directions. Those are important. If you've never used it before, definitely read the directions, okay? And you can actually like scroll down too and hit like, no thanks, I don't want that junk. And you can kind of just swipe through and look at the reward. I recommend on like Find a Stars checking those numbers and making sure it's tapping correctly, right? So you can just tap a number. And, you would have the student pick the number and this is what would pop up, right? So if I were in class, I might copy that link, right? I'm going to open up, sorry. Yeah, hey, I just did a no. You got to hit done. That's how to get out of preview. Now, it may look different on some devices. I think on Android devices, maybe Dot said this, I can't remember. But I think on Android devices, there might be like these 3 little dot options and an option to open in your browser. So that's awesome. But you can click done. Whenever you're done using it, it's going to sometimes, like see how I stayed in that web or I stayed in that Google slide for quite a while. So it's going to bump me back home, okay? And that's just kind of part of PWAs. If you're opened up and browsing in an external site, which is essentially what that was, and you do it for, I think it was like longer than 3 minutes maybe, then you might be bumped back home. So for example, if I want to just quickly go back, I can just click on my favorites tab up there since I have favorites now. So I can click favorites and I can just get right back there, okay? And give it a second maybe to catch up. But usually, if you're not staying in the app too long or in the Google slide too long, if I want to click preview, usually it's not going to bump you all the way back home. So let's say I just swipe through this a couple of times and see if I like it. Then I can click done, and I'll still be on the same screen, if that makes sense. I should probably like type out a note about that. If you stay in preview too long, it's gonna bump you back home. Okay, so let's say I want to use this sculpture one. I'm just gonna hit copy link. What I would do is then I would go to my Cake browser. Now I am not using Safari, and this is simply because I have an iPhone. And so iPhones have this weird funky thing that it doesn't allow for Google Slides to go full screen in Safari. Slides app used to be the only way to get it to go full screen, okay? But this Cake browser, you can get it in your app store. What you can do is you just download it, and then you can tap one more time. So like I just tapped the URL bar, and I'm just pasting. So I tap, then the little black pop-up comes up. I'll do that one more time so that you can kind of see. So if I'm tapping the URL, I backspace, and I'm just tapping one more time, and I hit paste. Okay, kind of hard to see with that Amazon thing there. Okay, hit go, and then you would have it in a browser. The advantage to this is that you can open multiple things at a time. Okay, if you're trying to use it in Slidekick, you can only have one thing open at a time, right? And if you're on that reward too long, that preview menu or preview button, it's going to kind of bump you all the way to back to the home screen once you hit done. Okay. Now, like I said, different things, or there are different things or different options on different devices. Because I know like Android phones work a lot better with Slidekick because it's a PWA. So it's called Cake. Here, I'll show you. Now, it's not going to look blue in the App Store. I think it's like pink and purple. Yeah, definitely download that. It's so much quicker too. So like a lot of the things that are very graphic heavy are really hard to load on the Slides app. Okay, so remove the Google apps from your computer or from your phone. Just take them all off. Drive, Slides, Sheets, all that stuff. The only thing that you need on your device to quickly and effectively use Google Slides, if you're on an iPhone at least, is Slidekick in this little Cake browser. Or you can use Safari. But the problem with Safari, I'll show you. If you're using Safari on your iPhone for a Google Slide, this is how it pops up. So if I hit no thanks and I turn it sideways, which maybe it's going to give me fits, maybe it won't. But if I turn it sideways, do you see how there's that URL bar at the top, right? I can't, like, the half of this stuff is cut off. See that? So this is why Safari is just kind of not awesome in that way, okay? Because it's got that URL bar covering up. I don't know if you can see my cam, but there you go. So, and then it stays on there. Now, sometimes you can kind of like zoom, right? You can kind of zoom, and sometimes it goes away, sometimes it doesn't. So honestly, that's why I recommend this little browser right here, this Cake browser. It's pretty awesome. Cake, sorry. I know, it's a weird name, isn't it? Cake web browser. I don't know. But it's very speedy, and it's very like mobile friendly. So if I tilt it sideways, see how it's just completely full screen now. So it almost looks like the Slides app, right? So I can just hold it up and they can see it full screen. Okay. Yeah. So if you haven't put it on your phone yet, then you can, as far as the Slidekick, you can download it on your computer or on your phone. Let's see, I've got about 3 minutes left. And my adult attention span is, I'm kidding. I know y'all are probably tired of hearing me talk. Okay, so does anybody have any questions that, as far as that are specific to the app or specific to Slidekick or anything like that? What all we can delete? Literally, here, okay, Google Slides. I would say Google Slides #1, Google Drive. And if you're, and Kyle, do you have an iPhone or is it an Android device? Android maybe?
It's an iPhone.
Oh, perfect. Okay. So then just remove all of those Google icons. All you can just like on your iPhone, a quick tip, anytime you want to search something, you can just pull down and you can search right here. You can search like Google. And so then all that stuff, all those apps will pop up, or at least they should. Yeah, see, look at all mine. I just typed in Google, and then all my Google apps are popping up here. So I can.
Because I don't want it to pop up automatically in some.
Yeah, it does that too. It does that. It's annoying. So like, especially Google Drive is the main culprit. So if you have the Google Drive app on your device and you tap that preview reward or whatever, it opens in Drive as if it were like a scrolling thing. Like, so just delete all the Google apps off of your phone and it'll work as I just did that. So yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. Oh, good luck with CamTwist. I use CamTwist and I love it so much. It's definitely awesome, but it does take a lot of focus to learn. Not my strong suit. Okay, anybody else have any questions as far as the app goes? Now, I didn't even really get into the specifics with that lessons tab, but you can search by rewards. You can search by, here, I'm going to share my screen one more time, just kind of, I usually hang out for about 5 minutes after that hour mark. So if you have any specific questions, feel free to ask. But
so can I ask a quick question?
Sure, for sure.
This like instead of like Google Planner, because my friend was showing me Google Planner, and I don't know.
So I use the app to. I don't know. I use the app to browse rewards on my phone. So like if I'm thinking, or if I have time for the future, like for my upcoming classes or whatever, I get a booking on my VIPKid app and I'm like, oh, I haven't seen so-and-so in so long. Oh, I remember he likes this. Do we have a lesson specific reward featuring Iron Man or something? So I'll go and browse the rewards tab. So when I browse the rewards tab, what I would do is I would just click rewards, and I can search by category. I can search by lesson code. But to be honest, I really just use the planner. And so because the planner does even more than what,
Right. I need to study and learn how to use that.
Well, yes, it definitely is helpful. I mean, honestly, if you're interested in learning the planner, I would say hold off, because we're going to be rolling out the next update probably by the end of the month. So there will be new tutorials and stuff. Well, I don't like making them. It's like my least favorite thing to do. So anyways, but yeah, so the planner is like like the app on steroids, if you can imagine. Right. So instead of having to manually search your lesson name, all you have to do is paste your schedule. So you do have to be on a computer to set it up. So it's not very mobile friendly, but it does generate, the cool thing I like about it is that it does generate those feedback templates, like all of our feedback templates. Instead of seeing like, oh, it was so nice to meet name today, instead of seeing that, you see your student's name. So you don't have to go in and change it all.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah. So, and it allows you to save your favorite feedback templates and your favorite props and your favorite rewards per class. So
this is the Slides app?
This is the Slidekick app right here. So that was something that like I said, I kind of breezed through, but there are props, there are extension rewards. So like this is probably a slideshow full of like additional visuals to show for vocabulary. Okay, that's what the props are. And then if you go back and you click on feedback, then you can do your feedback right after class. You can just tap the little clipboard, right? And it's not going to show you that it did anything, but you just tap that little clipboard and you can go in and you can maybe open up your VIPKid Teach app and you can send in your feedback that way too. So I'll just do it on a note or something. But yeah, you get the gist. I mean, you can just like open up anything. I can tap paste and it'll paste all of that. So you see, and then I would go through and I would swap out those names. Okay, those little name placeholders and customize it. Obviously, you don't want to be like not customizing or personalizing it at all. Yeah. Planner is definitely awesome. It is just like one of those more advanced resources in our group that does take a little bit of learning. So,
well, I've been making note cards, and she's like, no, you need to stop making note cards. It's too much work. But I'm like, it's a lot of work to learn.
Yeah, it is. It is. It really is. I would suggest if you have the focus, go check out on let me share my screen. You can watch a recording of the last planner. Planner thing. So our Zoom for the planner, I have all those listed right here. Okay. So sorry, I did that really fast. I just went to the table of contents in the slide guide, and you can click tutorials, recorded Zooms, and then you'll find, there you go. Then you'll find all of our recorded Zooms, and there's a planner one on there, a bunch of them. So great. Yes. Okay. So any other questions as far as Slidekick or using Google Slides or anything like that? Yes. So the Cake app. Now mine's not the best example because I have you can customize the way the icon looks. I think that's really cool that you can do that. So this blue and white icon that I was showing you just a second ago, this isn't what it looks like in the App Store, okay? But this is the Cake browser, okay? When you first download it, it's going to take you through like all these like little tutorial things and telling you to swipe things. Just follow along with it, and do the tutorials, the little initial setup, and then you can tap on the little settings gear, and you can turn off like all that extra junk. There's a bunch of extra junk on it, but you can change the app icon. This is what you would see, this original color. This is what you would see in the App Store. It's Cake web browser. You don't really need it like if you've got an Android phone though, because Chrome allows you to go full screen. So if that makes any sense. And then you would just tap to search, and then tap to paste the link, okay? And then once you paste the links that you want to open up for class, you can open up as many as you want. So I think I've already got this one. I'm like, oh no, that was a big old feedback template. Oh no, Megan. I'm not going to hit go on that. I just pasted the whole feedback template into there. But anyways, you get the idea. You can open up multiple tabs in that browser so that you can have more than one thing up at a time and loaded. So does that make sense? Kind of. I mean, I can show that if y'all want. As far as, y'all want to see that? Hold on. Let me hit go. But okay, so if I wanted to open up a bunch of things for class, maybe the night before, so I want to open up this prop thing, like I want to have some additional visuals ready, I can hit copy link, and I can just go back to Cake, and I can paste that. So I'm kind of like double tapping, and I hit go. And I don't even need to wait for it to load. I can just actually exit out and go back to Slidekick, and I can go to the extension rewards and copy that. And then I go back to Slidekick. And what I would do is I would click this little square button below. See those little squares right down there? I can just do that and open up a new tab by clicking that blue plus. And I would paste this one too. So then I have two things open at a time. And I can toggle between them using that little square button thing. Okay? Right, Roxy. So I don't know, you may have joined us in a little bit later, but it's not available in the App Store. You have to go to our Facebook group and click the slide guide link. Okay? And there's a link on once you open it up, the only announcement we have, you just kind of click through those prompts. Y'all are here for the beginners, so just go ahead and click the green arrow. And then you can go to this orange column, and it says like access resources. So and you tap get the app right there. Okay? And it'll take you through the steps on how to get it on your device. So all right. So let's see. It does take some practice, yeah, for sure. Okay, let's see. Yeah, that's what I would recommend too, Christina. Just use one real word for like all your classes. Maybe something that's very versatile, like, I don't know, stars or something. We have a bunch of like stars only stuff. I'm a big fan of like really playing up the stars that they get in the classroom. So like I'll often just, oh, oops, I don't have my screen shared. Oh, bad. Okay. I'll often just like use stars only, right? So I can just type in stars and I can search through those stars. Well, yeah, I probably should type stars only. I think that is the category there. Maybe not. Stars, it's just bringing up everything that has stars. I'll type in dino stars. And when you do that, you can favorite this reward too. So like maybe a girly dino stars, right? And I can just favorite that. So then all I have to do is just every morning before class, I can go down to my rewards tab and I can type all and then go over to favorites. And then it's there. You can keep it open in your browser too. All right. Sorry, that's a lot of info. These beginner sessions tend to get a little off track there towards the end. Okay, any other questions before we all say goodbye? All right. Well, thank y'all guys for coming. I hope this was helpful. And I'll post the recording. So if any of your friends or you see people in the group asking, I'll post the recording later it'll be in the slide guide. So y'all have a wonderful Saturday. Bye, guys.